Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is that you inky savages are joining me for this video. Thanks once again for clicking on the PenBoyRoy Fountain Pen Review channel. I know it's been a while. Unfortunately for me, I have an inability of not falling into every possible rabbit hole on the planet. I've gotten into fish keeping, and you're probably wondering, hey, where's the green screen? Where's the computer-generated background? Well, as you can see, the wall that I was using for the green screen has been occupied by my fish tank, which is a rabbit hole that I've fallen into. So until I can figure out a solution for a green screen, I am going to use this or maybe one of my other many fish tanks as a background for now. But the subject of today's video is the Montblanc Meisterstuck 146 Calligraphy Fountain Pen. So I've done the background information on the Montblanc brand in a past video. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. If you want more thorough, in-depth information on the background information, be sure to check that out. It's a long video. I actually forgot to provide a writing sample, but I didn't do that this time. I definitely provided you a writing sample. Now I want to get on with the review. It's been a while since I've done one. So here we go. We're going to move on to the neutral zone. Those things about the pen that are neither good or bad, or can be good or bad, depending on you. The nib is a number 6 sized 18 karat gold nib. Instead of the logo being there as you see with other Montblanc nibs, you have swirls that you often see people use whenever they're doing writing samples. Underneath that is 4810, the brand name, as well as the gold stamp. This nib is proprietary. On the underside is the proprietary Montblanc feed. The grip section is a straight grip section that's slightly tapered, followed by the threads. Underneath the threads is your prison bar style ink window. The pen as a whole has a cigar shape. Now there's nowhere on this pen that denotes the nib size, other than the branding on the nib and this little swirly sticker here. The pen is a piston filler. The clip is your standard Montblanc style simple clip. The center band is your standard Montblanc center band. It's 3 bands, with the middle one being the thickest, reading Montblanc and Meisterstuck. Now this is not centered in any way, shape, or form. On the top of the finial, you have your star emblem that makes the Montblanc brand so popular. The pen's packaged inside a cardboard box that is a special edition. Open up the box and you have your pretend leather clamshell case. Open up the clamshell case and you have your pen resting inside a very comfortable bedding. Of course, included is your service manual, as well as instructions on how to use a flex pen. This card here is pretty much everything you need to know on flex writing. Not really, but I guess it's your crash course Cliff Notes version of how to use a flex pen. That's all I have for the neutral zone. Moving on to the good. Those elements about the pen that are good. Other than the sheer aesthetics of this pen, which I personally find to be a very pretty pen, there's a lot to say that's good about this pen. What I like about this pen is how the writing keeps up. Now, I first saw this pen and held it in my hand when I was in Paris, and I went to a Montblanc store in Saint-Germain. I tried out the pen and I was flabbergasted and impressed by how well the store piece worked. It was the showpiece, so it's the one that gets abused and beat up all the time, but in spite of that, it wrote really well. The ink flow kept up, never railroaded. I was really impressed. I was even writing on cheap paper that is really ink absorbent. It was almost like writing on high quality toilet paper. Writing with that pen actually convinced me to purchase this pen. The one that was at the store had a broader line when not flex writing. This pen here, as you can see, has a very fine tip and then spreads out to about 1 millimeter. I think that's pretty decent, and it doesn't take very much pressure to write. As I said before, I genuinely do like the aesthetic of a Montblanc pen. There's something about the blackness of it. Even though it's not actually black, it's actually really, really dark red, but it's so dark red it looks black. And you can see that if you shine a light into the cap in a dark room, you'll see that it's red. I've talked about this before. I also like the fact that it's Montblanc. That's all I have for the good. Moving on to the bad. Let's talk coin. So the cost of this pen is not cheap. I'm looking at the Montblanc website. It's out of stock, but the 146 Calligraphy fountain pen runs for $855. It's not available. It's sold out. That doesn't mean you can't get it at other retailers such as Fountain Pen Hospital if they have it in stock, or Farnese, or other retailers, authorized retailers that sell Montblanc products. Now, $855 is a lot of money in my opinion, especially for an injection molded fountain pen. But it does write like a savage. However, so do other pens like the Scribos. If I had to compare the writing experiences, I'd say they're similar. However, with a Scribo, you're getting acrylics. You're getting more handmade elements in the fountain pen versus this injection molded fountain pen. But like I said, it does write like a savage. I just feel like $855 US is a lot. And like I said, with a Scribo, you pay less money and you get kind of more bang for your buck. That's all I have for the bad. Moving on to the ugly. Those elements about the pen that should not be, but are. So when it comes to the ugly, it's hard to associate the word ugly with the Montblanc 146 fountain pen because it's such a beautiful classic look. However, if I did have to nitpick and say that there's anything ugly about this fountain pen, I would say that over time, and I experienced this with my other 146, the standard nib, over time, as you cap and uncap, it does create scuffing around the barrel just underneath the prison bar style ink window. But that could happen with any fountain pen. And if I had to be really nitpicky, I would talk about the fact that this pen is injection molded. But other than that, I don't really have anything for you in terms of the ugly. The writing experience is fantastic. It's a beautiful pen. That's all I have for the ugly. It's high noon. Decision-making time. Should you or should you not pull the trigger on the Montblanc 146 Meisterstuck Calligraphy fountain pen? So when I got this pen, I was in Paris. I like to say it like a French person. I was in Paris. I was in Saint-Germain, and I went to the Montblanc store. I did a live video on Instagram. I was really excited about it. Now, in Paris, the price was 795 euros, and that's less than the 855 US dollars. I think it comes out to about the same. However, I get this form when I let them scan my passport. I take that form, and then when I go to the airport, there's this kiosk. You scan that form that they give you, and then you get 12% back on it. So it was a good opportunity for me. However, even with the refund on the taxes, I still feel like that the cost of this pen, for it being injection molded, is too high if I'm comparing it based on pedigree alone in terms of writing experience and what you're getting for the money. If you're looking for a high-end flex fountain pen, I would definitely go with a Scribo over this. However, as my good buddy Brian Hulser from Kenro Industries once told me, there's value in brand name. And if you're the type of person that does care about the value of brand name and you like to walk around and flex, see what I did there? You like to flex that you have a Montblanc fountain pen, then I would say get it if that's your style. And you want a flex nib fountain pen that performs really well. I do have to make one mention of the fact that the nib is 18 karat gold. To my knowledge, I don't think that 18 karat gold is the optimal type of gold because it's softer, yes, but does it have as much bounce back? So based on my knowledge, people have told me, oh, you're only supposed to use 14 karat gold in flex nibs because of the snapback. Scribo uses the 14 karat gold nib. Montblanc uses the 18 karat gold nib, probably because it's softer. Does it have the same bounce back? As I'm writing with the one that I purchased and the one that was at the store, yes, it has the same bounce back. But I don't personally know how the nib will keep its shape over the long term. Now, the pen that was at the store didn't have any issues, meaning it wasn't spread out too much, it wasn't abused. But then again, I don't know how long they've been having that pen on display, how many people have used it or abused it, and how many years it's been used. So in terms of the long term, it's hard to say, but so far, the pen, as you saw in the writing sample, the nib snaps back really well. It writes really well. I have no complaints. I guess I'll have to do an update in maybe a year, maybe 2 years. That was my review on the Montblanc 146 Meisterstuck Calligraphy fountain pen. Thanks again for watching. But before I go, please make sure you check out the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast, available on all your favorite podcasting apps, as well as here on YouTube. Now, sometimes you'll notice that the podcast released on the podcast apps, but doesn't come out on YouTube. Sometimes that happens because there's an interruption in the uploading. I can throw all kinds of excuses at you. I'm going to do my best to make sure they're on both platforms. But please check it out. Also, please check out the description below for an affiliate link to Gold Spot Pens. The affiliate link is going to help out the channel. It's going to help out the podcast and help out the empire that is the multi-dozen-dollar corporation known as the Pentertainment Studios. Check that out. Use the affiliate link and also the coupon code provided below. This month, the coupon code is Garfield, as in Garfield the cat. Garfield, my cat. Anyway, like I said, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Be well, be safe.